Today on What It's Like, 1957 Oldsmobile Super 88 hardtop can be upgraded to the J2 engine for any model for $83. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. This channel, we feature the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that tend to get overlooked. If that sounds like a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. This 1957 Oldsmobile Super 88 Holiday Hardtop is for sale at Classic Auto Mall. What's Classic Auto Mall? Classic Auto Mall, the largest automotive consignment dealership in the northeastern region of the US of A, with over 850 cars for sale when recording this episode. For more information, pricing, and pictures pertaining to this very car, click the link below after the show. 1957 was a big year for Oldsmobile, marking the 60th anniversary of the brand, and here's where things get a little bit confusing. 88 is the basement model, but it was renamed in 1957 to Golden Rocket, but nowhere on the car does it say Golden Rocket, just says 88, followed by Super 88 in the center, 98 Starfire at the top, and then of course there was the wagons. Super 88 came standard with exposed chrome eyebrows, courtesy mirrors, bumper guards, turn signals, rubber floor mats, sun visors, armrests, front fender script. Super 88 could be had as a two-door hardtop, four-door hardtop, two-door sedan, four-door sedan, convertible, and wagon. Oldsmobile offered the 88 from 1949 to 1999 in 10 generations. 1957 falls in the third generation, which had a production run from 1957 to 1958. Built on the GM B-Body platform along such cars as the Pontiac Chieftain and Buick Special. It's time to compare. Let's compare the 56 and the 57. 56 on top, 57 on the bottom. Starting in the front designs are very similar with some key differences. Hoods look the same, but they use different hood ornaments on both the top and on the nose of the car. Grille and bumpers are totally different. The location of the turn signals, headlights sit back further on the 57. Moving to the side profile, two totally different side profiles. The trim has been totally revised between the two models, as well as the bumpers, but the biggest difference between these two cars found on the exterior design is in the rear section. Three separate pieces of back glass on the 57, whereas on the 56 it's one solid piece. There is a crease just aft of the rear quarter window section on the 57 that runs to the rear. Just take a look at the taillight section. It dips in on the 57, whereas it protrudes out on the 56. Also, the exhaust ports in the bumper on the 57, whereas it doesn't do that on the 56. Moving to the dash region, way more chrome on the 57. The clock was moved to center. All the button switches and knobs are in line on the 57. Gauge cluster looks very much the same, just the buttons are in a different location. Which one do you prefer in the comment section below? Let's talk specs. 208.2 inches long, 78.5 inches wide, 57.4 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 122 inches. It weighs 4,370 pounds. Price, $2,685, which is equivalent to you spending $28,586.17 in the year 2023. Total 1957 Oldsmobile production was 384,390 units, of which total Super 88 132,105 units, and of that number, total holiday hardtops was 31,155 units. Moving on to engines, only one engine on offer with one caveat. 371 cubic inch displacement V8 6.1 liters. In the base version, it makes 300 brake horsepower at 4,600 RPM, 400 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPM, with a compression rating of 9.5 to 1. The caveat is anybody could opt and get the J2, which added 3 two-barrel carburetors to it for $83. $83 is equivalent to $883.67 in the year 2023. That boosted power up to 312 brake horsepower at 4,600 RPM, 415 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPM. It also bumped up compression to 10 to 1. When mated to a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had 8.5 seconds. Theoretical top speed, 120 miles per hour. But there was an article that I read where Lee Petty, I'm not sure if he was Richard Petty's father, he pushed it at NASCAR at 144 miles per hour. What a crazy time to live in, and I totally missed it. Average fuel economy was 9.8 miles to the gallon.
Oldsmobile's new J2 rocket, most exciting new engine on the road. With a completely new fueling system, the J2 rocket is like two engines in one. Two-stage rocket action gives you more economy when you want it, more power when you need it. And here's the J2 rocket in person, a mighty impressive-looking engine. You see, the J2's new fueling system has 3 carburetors, not just 1 or 2. For cruising, you use only this center one, and that means real economy. But for extra performance, you press the accelerator past the 3/4 mark, and all 3 carburetors rocket into action instantly, automatically. So if you've been looking for more economy when you want it, more power when you need it, I'm sure you'll want to try Oldsmobile's new J2 rocket engine.
Let's talk styling. Look at how these bumpers kind of fit right up underneath the body part. Notice how this flares out, goes up to the wheel well and stops, and then this trim piece takes over. This piece protrudes out. This always looked like a catfish front to me. Front end of a catfish. Do you see it? Nice hood ornament. I'm not into all the pinstriping. It's just not my thing. If you like it, that's cool. It's just, it's not for me. So these aren't smooth. There's an ever so slight crease. And it kind of blends back into the body. This car has a nice, beautiful wraparound windshield. Coming up to the roof line. It's got nice drip rails that go the whole way back. But also notice it has lines up on top of the roof as well. The backlight is very interesting. It's 3 individual pieces of glass. This piece is curved. I can only imagine how hard this would be to find if you broke it. Notice the lines that come off the roof continue on the trunk lid out the back, and they keep going down until they are into the trunk lid itself. This chrome piece here that comes off, comes down, and it comes out the back, but before it does, it turns and connects with this. Look at how nice of a design that is. Just look at that tail end design. That almost looks like a headlight, and how it has that hood. Also check out where the exhaust port's out. Getting inside, the door is pretty heavy. It's got a lot of heft to it. Check out the door panel design. It's vinyl up on top. It's more of a fabric on the bottom. Armrest door handle to pull the door shut. This one has crank vent windows. Just look at how cool that is, and the design and shape of that vent window. This is the door handle to get out. This is the window crank for the big window. And just look, it's all trimmed out. Coming down inside the pedal box down here. Here's the brake release. Here's the parking brake. High beam switch right behind it. Brake pedal, gas pedal. Just take a look at this interior. I love the red and black. Very nice. That's what the door sounds like shutting. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood looks like. Here's what underneath the steering wheel looks like. I wear size 34 pants, and the only reason I show this is because these steering wheels don't telescope or tilt or any of that stuff. So, and the seats only move back and forth, so if you don't fit in this car, you can't really drive it. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. All the way left is for the windshield wipers. Push the button in the center for the wash feature. Headlights, heat controls, 4 buttons on top, off, direct, indirect, defrost. The bottom slider controls the temperature. Fan speed, which is in 2 settings, low and high. Left side of the instrument panel has oil pressure and amp meter, both in forms of idiot lights. Speedometer in the center, odometer right below it, gasoline gauge at the bottom, drive modes read, park, neutral, drive, second, low, reverse, hot and cold light on the right side of the instrument panel. Ventilation controls, 3 buttons, off, medium, max, ignition, lighter, courtesy lights, radio, clock in center. Up above, there are some sun visors, and they're massive. There's my hand for reference. Rear view mirror with daytime, nighttime feature, which that has to be pretty rare. It's rare for the 50s. Another rear view mirror over here, same thing, absolutely massive. Ashtray. There's another ashtray over here for the passenger. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here's my hand for reference. Here is our glove box in question. And it wouldn't fit in there anyway. Man, that's just like a mail slot. I never saw one like that before. That one's got a radio in it, but even if it didn't, the camera will never get past the mail slot. So it will not fit in that glove box. This is what I look like in the driver's seat. I got tons of headroom. This car is very comfortable. The seats are very plush and they're very nice. It's a very nice seating position in this car. I just wanted to show you this dashboard design real quick. I don't know where that goes, but this one doesn't have like a cover or anything. It just goes down to oblivion. It's very interesting design. Is that the way it's supposed to be? Super interesting. Getting in the rear seat, just fold the seat forward. And that's how far forward it goes, giving you that much access to the rear seat. Here is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a gander at the greenhouse. These windows are tinted, so it looks a little darker in here than it should be. But the greenhouse in this car is absolutely excellent because the pillars, like, check that out. The pillar just isn't that big anywhere you look on this car. Out the back light, that's what the visibility looks like. Out the rear, it does have a nice shelf back there. All right, let's look at the seat profile. So yeah, it's not that comfortable. For one, the seat is very upright and it dips down severely in the back. It feels like I'm in a Ford, really, about to take a power poop. But that was just designers in the 50s. I just don't understand. They designed nice seats in the 30s, but they just couldn't design them in the 50s for whatever reason. Feature comforts, there is a dome light here. There's also one coat hook on this side. Armrest, ashtray, right there. The windows do go down. They operate like this. That's so cool. It seems like they all operate just a little bit differently, all of GM's different products. Everything that is found on the driver's side is found on the passenger side, except for the coat hook. This is what I look like sitting in the back seat. I got tons of headroom. Headroom isn't the issue. The issue is the knee space. It's negative, even though the back of these seats are like, the sides protrude outward more than the center of the seat does. So it gives you more space for your knees, but there still isn't enough space to sit back here comfortably if you're 6'2". So getting under the hood, so just check that out. The hood release is right here, and you move it to the right, and that takes it to the next level. So there isn't a second catch, it's just this one. And so you can see the mechanism here. When you just slide it over. So just take a look at that. Gorgeous engine. It's got a dual master cylinder with power brakes. I think that's aftermarket because they didn't offer a dual master cylinder in 57. Here's the heating box, alternator, which is also an upgrade because they didn't have an alternator in 57 either. This one's got the windshield wash feature. Aftermarket electric fan in the front. Nice horns. That's as high as the hood will go. Gives you plenty of access to work on this. On the positive side, period flash, performance, especially the J2, 0 to 60, 8.5 seconds, luxurious, especially the 98 series, exclusive. Against it, clean originals are getting hard to find, more rust prone than the 54 through 56 Oldsmobiles. Mail slot glove box, so you can't really fit that many big items in that glove box, despite it being rather large. I should say long. Now moving on to Would You Rather. We're going to have 3 scenarios today. First scenario, 1956 Oldsmobile or 1957 Oldsmobile or 1958 Oldsmobile. Second scenario, 1957 Oldsmobile or 1957 Pontiac or 1957 Buick. Moving on to the final scenario, 1957 Oldsmobile or 1957 Mercury or 1957 DeSoto. I really love seeing what you guys dig. Please put it you would prefer in the comment section below. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give me both the correct name of the band and song title, first person to do both correctly, will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below or check out our Facebook group that correlates with this YouTube channel. Don't have Facebook? No worries. Shoot me an email if you'd like to talk to me one-on-one. All of that information will be linked in the description. Just know I appreciate all of the support. And until next time, here are some scenes for our next episode. 1948 Chrysler Royal, very interesting styling car this one is. That's what's coming up next on What It's Like. Tune in Thursday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time to catch that episode. And until then, toodaloo! I say, boy, look at me when I'm talking to you, boy.